What's going on, everyone? Squire here, and we're with
Ben from Team Hive, obviously.
And what did you do at the UK Nats?
Came top 128 with Mitsu Fiendsmith.
Awesome, let's go into the deck profile and see what you were playing.
So, obviously, the Mitsurugi cards, I feel like if you're playing a deck without them, you're just not playing to win this format, to be honest. Obviously, very heavy on the package, because seeing a Mitsurugi card actually plays through draw half the time. So 3 Habakiri, 2 Murakumo, 1 Futsu. Most people are cutting the Futsu, but I think it's very important to have an extra ritual 2 tribute as part of the combo. 3 Aramasa because it gets you 2 Habakiri, and having the extra level 4s in this deck is actually fine, because a lot of the times you don't actually use your normal summon, so it gets you into an extra rank 4, which I'll show you one cool one that we're running later. 1 Saji, 1 Kusanagi, standard ratios for the monsters, to be honest. 3 ritual because if you open this plus any of the rituals you play through draw even harder, and to make that even easier we're on the Serpent, because this puts an extra 4 on board that you can use either for the Fiendsmith combo, a rank 4 or whatever you need. So yeah, and pre-prep, because getting to Habakiri is genuinely the best way to play as long as you don't draw Mirror, which I did a frightening amount during the weekend, because of course as a lab player break all the time. And then a very small Fiendsmith package, we're on 2 Engraver, 1 Lacrima and a Sanct. Now the list I was originally testing was just 1 Engraver and 1 Lacrima and the Tract with the Lurry, but it found that the Tract actually played into draw a lot harder. So playing the Sanct in case you draw the Engraver means that you can play through draw because you still make Caesar through it. But the second Engraver came up a lot in testing, because in the grind game, if you get drawled, you don't actually have the Mitsu follow-up that you need. So the second Engraver allows you to keep playing and get the Requiem Send on the turn 3. So it also sets up a lot of Desiree lines if you have the second. And to be honest, some lists you could actually just play the 1 Engraver and play Impulses, which is what I was testing at first. But I decided that the follow-up for the Engraver was just a lot better than the Impulse. In a few matchups over the weekend it did come up that I did need Impulses, but I feel like the list was just perfectly fine as is. Onto the non-engine, so we've got the 9 that you just have to play this format because of Mitsu Raizio existing, so the 3 Fuelos, 3 Perulia, and the 3 Droll. You need to see one of these 3 into Mitsu Raizio going second, or you just lose the game 99 out of 100 times, just because of how oppressive that deck is. And a lot of the times, these being level 4s does actually come up if you open Engraver, because you can get Feral Imps, which is full Mitsu combo, through just the Feral Imps. And then because this deck actually has a problem with Fuelos, we play Ash. As a hand trap it's terrible, but genuinely just having it stop the Charmies going first is just really important. 1 Nib for reasons we'll show later. The Bestials were actually the best hand trap to draw all weekend. Like into Mitsu, Bestialing the Murakumo puts them in a weird position where even if it's not great at the time, they still need to get into the second Murakumo to have a grind game. And a lot of the time they just struggle to do that. And then caught by talents, because just going first you need to stop draw or anything, and having opening both of them at the same time happened one game and it was just FTK, they just scooped after that. And that's the main deck. It's 43 cards, which probably could have cut down to 40, just a clean 40, but having the Bestials in just gave the deck a lot more bodies and power that genuinely I don't think I would do without. Onto the extra deck, we've got standard Fiendsmith package of just Moon, Requiem, Sequence, Agnum Day, Necroquip, Caesar, Desiree and Chaos Angel. I think there's the options to not play the Chaos Angel, but because the level 4 Mitsus are Darks, it genuinely comes up where you can very easily make Light and Dark Chaos Angel just off of them. So I don't think I'd change it and cut it for anything because the deck has a lot of extra deck space free anyway. So Chaos Angel's just one of them where I would always play it. We're on 1 count Granite because the combo going first puts 2 level 4s on board. We can just search Nib, and if we full combo through Nib, searching Nib, we just win because they have to push through Nib as well as our end board, which a lot of decks just cannot do. Ferrolim's to turn Engraver plus a level 4 into Mitsu combo if we don't draw it. And for the links, we're just on Dark, IP, SP, Dynamondo, and Underworld Goddess. It did come up over the weekend with the Moon and the Underworld Goddess that use the effect and link 2 of their bodies into Underworld Goddess to out 2 bodies at once, and it did come up a lot. And it genuinely felt so nice to do, and it being a light fiend means we can shuffle it back with the Fiendsmith stuff on the follow-up, so we always have access to it. I don't think I would change anything from the extra deck. I think it was a very tight list. For the side deck, we have to play Lancia. For the Malice matchup, for the Crystron matchup, has to be Lancia. We're on Lightning Storm and Duster, just generally going second. A lot of decks just have a lot of back row that hitting feels really good, like a lot of people are on Droplets and Super Polys and stuff. And just opening the turn going second, just Dustering that, just gave a lot of card advantage that we needed. And then for going first, we're on 2 Judgment, 1 Purification, just to give us a searchable trap instead of just the 3 Judgment trying to hard draw it. Very solid. And then we're on decided to play a Thrust package where we were on 2 Thrust and 4 normal traps, so Dimensional Barrier, Mischief of the Gnomes, Different Dimension Ground, and Artifact Sanctum. And these were just mainly to cover the Mitsu and Malice matchup, but also I wanted something for Pure because Mischief is actually very terrible into Pure Mitsu because they have the amount of bodies and monsters that they have. They can actually just still Ritual Summon to Murakumo. So D-Barrier just shuts that off, and it's also really good into Rogue. And I wanted something to respect the Mermail matchup and Memento matchup, so I played DDG. If I was redoing this, I probably would just take out the D-Barrier for the 3rd Thrust, just to help me see it better. But other than that, I think the list was very fine. Like, I don't think I had a problem with it. The main issue all weekend was actually Fool Loss and not Droll, because of a combo that we can do through Droll to still end on a very solid end board that I'll show you in a bit. Okay, so to play through Droll, you just open Habakiri plus any normal summon. So you just go Habakiri into Sagi, summon, tribute, Sagi effect to add a spell, we'll add the ritual spell. We just go summon from hand, sending Serpent and Kusanagi, and then we just go 1 Kusanagi to add back the ritual spell, 2 Serpent to summon. So we have these 2 on board, this in hand. And here, to play through, we could just link off into the Fiendsmith combo, but what we're going to do is we're just going to go here, get our Murakumo out, and we just normal summon anybody, just so we can link into Moon, into Requiem, into Lacrima dumping the Engraver. We go Equip, Send, Necroquip, obviously. Just to play around like Ghost Spell and stuff like that first. And then we can go Shuffle back the Moon, Summon Engraver, ending on this through Droll with 3 other cards in hand. And this leaves us with Lacrima Requiem follow-up, Murakumo Hand Rip, and the Caesar with 3 in hand, which is usually enough through Droll to just end on a respectable enough end board that they can out it. And the things in hand could be like prayers, could be Droll, hand traps that let you just guaranteed live through the next turn. So just having this option over Pure to end on the Caesar, just as 2 impulses functionally, just made the deck choice feel a lot better than Pure and a lot more consistent than Mitsu Raziel, that just felt like you were high rolling the Mulch Armies all weekend, whereas this one doesn't really care about anything other than Fool Loss. And a lot of the time they would just go Fool Loss, and then on res of the Habakiri they would just Droll me, so I can just still end on this board through hand ripping twice, which never made sense to me. But yeah, that's the combo, and the deck felt really good. I think outside of a few stupid mistakes, we would have got top 32 guaranteed, and maybe even won it. But that was the deck. Mitsu Fiendsmith was genuinely the choice for the weekend.
Okay, and any shout outs for anybody?
Obviously, shout out to the whole of Team Hive. A lot of the testing that happened before the event really did come up a lot. And shout out to just all the locals that I've been going to. So they helped a lot with like deck choice ideas and a lot of like concepts I didn't really like understand at first about the format, and then playing there really did help. So yeah.
Awesome, thanks a lot for the deck profile. Don't forget, guys, hit the subscribe button, make a comment, leave a like, and we'll see you on the next video. Take care.